Hello. This is my broken shed window. So it is, let's see here, it is 20 to 11 on Monday morning. And I thought I would just sit out in my backyard and drink some coffee, watch some YouTubes, sweat. I just did a little bit of weeding in my back garden here. I have to cut my lawn so bad. But I think that'll have to wait until this evening because she's muggy. But we'll see. So, if anybody is watching, how are you? How was your morning? Is it hot and muggy where you are? Because it is hot and muggy here in Canada. Holy moly. Oh, sorry, my back hurts. Yeah, that broken window, man. Happened last year. I went and bought this shelter. I'll show you the inside. One of these shelter thingies. Got some pretty lights up in it. So, me and my buddy and my brother were putting this thing up, and it was a bitch to get up. I think it took us like 4 days. We were putting the roofing parts up, and one slipped and went through my damn window. So, and I just haven't had the time or the money or the opportunity with things opening and closing all hairy-carry to get the window fixed. So it looks like that right now. So, but the shelter looks fantastic, and you should see it at night when lights are up. It's really pretty. And it's the only way I can get any shade back here. This backyard is in full sun. Probably until about 8:30 at night. So. And I like to sit outside, so I needed a shady spot. I've actually gone through maybe 2 or 3 different types of these things. The first couple that I bought were like cheap portable pop-up ones. You literally have to replace, like when you have them, because they're not meant to be up like all the time, right? It's supposed to be for like when you go to watch your kids' sports or whatever. And I just left it up all season. So I think the first one lasted me maybe 2 seasons. And then I had to get rid of it. The material just pooches, right? And then I bought another one, but a sturdy one. But it still had the cloth covering. And that one, I didn't get out in time to take the material down. And I think it was like in November or something, a couple years ago. And I had a day off during the week, and I thought, perfect, like I'll go out and take that down and put it away, whatever, be fine. Well, the previous night, it frickin' snowed, and I mean it snowed, and the whole damn thing caved in. And like I still had my table out, like everything was still out here. The rug was still out, everything was still out. And there's light big light. That's that light. So everything came crashing down onto my glass table out here. So when I came down in the morning to get my youngest off to school and make my coffee and everything, I looked out the window and I had to look like 2 or 3 times because it had snowed and I wasn't expecting no snow. Like I said, I'd planned for taking the stuff down. And God damn it, I even called both my kids over. I'm like, you know, take a look out the window and tell me what you see. Whole damn thing came down. Screwed up the entire frame of the shelter. And oh, I was pissed. I paid decent money for that thing. Only had it for like a year. So mad. So last year, when I got my tax return, I went out and bought this one. Whole goddamn thing is metal. It ain't going nowhere. Live and learn. Should have forked out the money for this kind of thing the first damn time, but what are you gonna do? I never said I was smart. Yeah. Looks like my raspberries and stuff are starting to come up good. I hope I get some fruit this year. I have... I'll show you. So this is a black raspberry bush here that my neighbor gave me 2 seasons ago, I think. And it seems to be doing pretty good. I hope it gets fruit this year. It got little ones last year, but nothing that we could eat. It's my chives. She needs water. Then if we come over here, these are my red raspberries. And I had to cut this right back this year. It was huge, but it was all wooded and dying and stuff. So it seems to be coming back pretty good. And then this is my blueberry bush. But you can see great big crack in the thing. So I need to get another one and transplant it. My garden back here. My fire pit. These are the flower baskets I bought a couple of weeks ago that were so bloody expensive. There's its friend. They were like $45 each or something like that. I don't pay that kind of money for flower pots. Jesus Christ. I think it cost me under 20 to make the 4 or 5 that my youngest put together for me. Jesus. And they look so cute. He did such a good job. I have them all out on display back here and one on the front porch. And I showed them to him yesterday when my youngest came home from his dad's. He was so proud. So, oh yeah, she is muggy as hell today. Like, not even hot, it's muggy, it's heavy, it's... So I don't remember if I said, I know I did a quick vlog yesterday, when I went to pick up my eldest from work. But I don't remember if I said, the guy came to fix my air conditioner yesterday. So a lot earlier than expected. And I had totally forgotten to phone and bother them about it. But they phoned me as I dropped my boy off at work yesterday and asked if I was around, if they'd come fix it. I was like, shh. Yes, please. Because it was like 85 in my house yesterday. For some reason, my thermostat only reads Fahrenheit. I don't understand Fahrenheit. I know 80 is hot. I think that's somewhere in the 30s in Celsius. So it was hot in my house. I haven't cooked in my house for a few days. I've been eating cheese and crackers, and my son ordered Chinese food for him and his girlfriend the other day. I think he's been living off of that. So I've got it to about 21 in my house right now, Celsius, which is much nicer. And so we'll be able to cook a proper meal tonight. Get some stuff done in the house it was just too hot. I sweat at the drop of a hat. I hate to sweat. Just feel nasty. So, if I'm not getting paid, I'm not breaking a sweat. I don't care. So, I can catch up on my sweeping and stuff. Bring all my laundry baskets upstairs. Get all that put away. But it's really nice out. I haven't spent much time outside. I just got my patio furniture out on Saturday. So I wanted to sit outside and enjoy my little patio here, my little sanctuary. Because I do love to be outside. And yeah, thought I'd suck up some summer air. Oh, there's the birds. I've got birds. I've had them for years. See again. There's the vent. Did you see that? Yeah. So that vent is my fucking stove vent or whatever. The fan thingy. I never use it. And for years, these birds have made a nest in there. And I can't reach it. And my buddy tried to get in there a few years ago. But I guess it goes down. I don't know. And I can never... And they're not like traveling birds. They stay all year round. So to try and catch them when there's no babies in there is really, really hard. And once I hear babies in there, I just, whatever. Stay. It's fine. But they are quite loud, and like you can hear them in the kitchen. It's quite loud. But I figure they've earned their spot. It's fine. But it does put a lot of traffic around the pool. Like their flight path goes from that vent over my pool and up onto my shelter here. And sometimes you get like 15 or 20 birds in the bush, sort of kitty corner from it. Like there's here. little tour of my backyard here. So over here, there's my air conditioner working hard. So this bush here, I believe it's called a Rosa Sharon. You get like 20 birds in this bush, and it's just, they go insane. And then there's that vent where the family lives, and they fly over the pool and they chill up on top of there. Make all kinds of racket. But whatever. They like to bathe in the cover of the pool. It gets little puddles on top, and they all do their little bird bath in the top of the pool, which is kind of cute to watch. Oh dear. So I'm hoping this afternoon sometime, which is kind of why I'm doing a video now instead of this afternoon. I want to call my buddy and see if I can. He was saying I could borrow his power washer today and power wash my siding because it's white and it's filthy and it drives me friggin' crazy. And then once it's dry, I'll spray it down with some spider balm. Get rid of the creepy crawlies. Keep away any more creepy crawlies. So, and I have to remember to run to the dollar store today. Need mouthwash and bread. So, take something out for dinner, a thought in the sink. I'd barbecue, but I haven't cleaned my barbecue yet, and I don't feel like doing that today, so. I really want to get the inside of my house back into shape because that drives me absolutely batshit crazy. And power wash the siding because that too drives me absolutely batshit crazy. If I had the money, I would redo that siding into something dark, like a granite color or something. It gets a lot of, I don't know, like black soot or something from the big boats down by the river. And it just, if I don't power wash it every year, it just looks nasty. Excuse me. So I slept much better last night. I didn't get to bed until about 1 o'clock, but that's okay. I turned all my stuff off. Well, I had YouTube playing in the background when I redid my nails. And had YouTube playing in the background just for background noise. And then once I had my nails done, I just went up to bed. I played some cards for a little while. Played me some solitaire on my phone, and it was probably, I think I went to sleep right away. I was so bloody tired yesterday. This, like, you know, I got in total about 4.5 hours sleep, but it was like 2.5 hours between the time I'd finished my, what was it, like a 4 a.m. or 4:30 in the morning, whatever, when I did that video. And then I had to get up at like 20 after 8 to take my kid to work. And my original plan was to go back to bed when I got home, but then, you know, the AC people called me, and it was like, well, they gave me a window of like, at that, it was like 9 o'clock, so my window was between 9 and 5, this guy was going to show. So I got coffee and came back home, and it was too hot to, you know, do anything to keep busy kind of deal. So I sat down on the couch with my coffee and put a vlog on, and I passed out at some point because I woke up, the vlog was over, my phone was ringing, my phone was in my hand, I was clutching it in my chest. Scared the shit out of me. And it was the guy telling me that, you know, he'd be here in like 5 minutes. So I was like, oh, okay, wake up. And but I think he was done. I don't know. I think he was done and gone by like 1:30 or something like that, and I just went past it on the couch. I have no idea what time. I put another vlog on and just laid down on the couch and passed out for like another 2 hours or so. So, you know, like I got roughly 4.5 hours sleep, but it wasn't consecutive. And it was just rough yesterday. It was rough. My days of running on empty are done. I could do that no problem in my 20s. Even if I had to in my 30s, because I had my youngest when I was like 32 or something like that. And I could still be up with him all night and go to work, put in my, 8-9 hours. Of course, you come home and put in like another 6, right? But that was fine. And I just passed the fuck out whenever everybody went to bed. But now, nope. Nope. A bitch needs sleep. And the boys are old enough now that, I mean, unless things get serious, they can handle that. I can't be up all night with kids throwing up and stuff and going to work the next day. I can't do that anymore. You have to reach an age where it's like, you know what, like, I love you and I'm here for you if you really, really need me, but there ain't nothing I can do for you but sit and rub your back or whatever, so, good night. No point in everybody not sleeping. Excuse me while I go skipping down Selfish Road. So. My boyfriend texted me a little bit ago. I feel so bad for him. He is more or less a mechanic apprenticing mechanic, whatever. And he works mainly on trucks and tractors, the big stuff, right? Well, he's been trying to get through his apprenticeship for, oh, Jesus Christ, like 5 years. And I don't know how apprenticeships work for mechanics, but when I did my apprenticeship as a hairdresser, there was a certain amount of hours you had to get, and there was a book that you had to do. Right? And your manager had to sign it off. So in my case, the book was, you had to do so many colors. So under the color category, you had like, root touch-ups, woohoo. You had highlights, you had cap highlights, foil highlights, like, you had to do so many sets, and sets are like with the curling iron, with the roller sets, with the hot rollers, Velcro rollers, whatever. Perms, you had to do certain things in haircuts, and all this stuff has to get signed off by your manager or assistant manager if there is one. Not all salons have assistant managers. I think most of them don't. I've worked in one that did. And then you have to put in so many hours, right? You get all that done. You make your appointment. You go do your test. And you either pass or fail, right? If you fail, you can retake, whatever. With his, because he never went to school for mechanics, he's just got years and years of experience, right? He's been working on cars and stuff since he was like 15 or something like that. So, you know, he started doing stuff several years ago at like places like Canadian Tire, and he got certified in, I don't know, some sort of stupid check you used to have to do. You don't have to do them anymore, so it's like completely invalid. I don't know anything about cars. I just drive mine. I don't fucking know nothing. And you know, he started doing like lube and oil filter, oil changes, and balancing tires and all that kind of garbage. And now he's actually, you know, for the last while now, he's been working on engines. And it's all large engine repair. It's not even cars anymore. They've got him working on the big friggin', like the big rigs and cube vans. And he has an old boss that he used to work for. He does stuff on the side for from time to time to help him out. And it's like revamping boats and stuff. Like, I mean, it's not like he doesn't know what he's doing. But from what I understand, because of this COVID shit, he can't, there's like a class, he's supposed to do so much time in class, and he can't. And on top of that, he has to pay for it, which I get. But he's also got to buy his own tools and everything. Now, I've never bought tools of any kind. But I do know that they're expensive. And when you're literally just apprenticing, like he's just down as an apprentice, so he makes bullshit money. How are you supposed to buy tools and shit? Like, it's just, they seem to make it more difficult than it ought to be. I don't know. But see, in my field, in my experience, everything is supplied for you, right? Like, there are different salons run differently, but I always worked, my 19 years have always been with First Choice haircutters, okay? So at First Choice, whether it's corporate or franchise, all your supplies are supplied to you, and you pay $2-3 a month off your paycheck for these supplies, right? So you're not going out and buying clippers and trimmers and guards and perm rods and foil and caps and capes and towels and scissors are, I have a pair of scissors that secondhand cost me $800. Just saying. So, you know, and there are places where you do supply your own. You're basically running your own business. You're just renting a spot in their place, right? You rent your chair. You supply your own color. You supply your, you know, all your chemicals, all your cleaning supplies, like everything. And I have friends that do that, and they do very well with it. And bless them, because I couldn't do it. I couldn't run a business. I mean, that, having to keep track of your taxes and keep your receipts and fucking, no. No, ma'am. I don't want to be in charge of nothing. I'm in charge of home. That's enough for me. I'm good. Happy to be a worker bee. I know my job. Let me do my job. Leave me alone. You know? So I feel really bad for him. You know, he's texting me today. He's all frustrated. He's, you know, puts in all this, you know, all this time, all this effort, and he works hard. I mean, the kid's not afraid to work hard, you know, but understandably, you want to be paid accordingly, and he's not. As a matter of fact, about a month ago, he texted me all excited. He'd gotten what he thought was a raise on his paycheck. And he went in the next day to thank them. And the lady was like, "Oh, well, that was a mistake. You didn't get a raise." He was like, "Oh, well. Okie dokie." But sure as shit, the next paycheck, if they did not deduct the extra that they'd given him the check before, unreal, man. I don't know. I'd be pissed too. And the things with these jobs, right? I mean, everybody's like, ooh, learn a trade, la la la, which I am all for trade work. But pay us accordingly. You know, like, I've been trying for about a year to get into the labor union. Because why not? And say what you will about labor. About the unions. I mean, I don't know a whole shit ton about them. The beauty industry, the hairdressing industry has been waffling back and forth for years about whether or not we should unionize or not. And nobody can agree on it, so it's never going to happen. But, you know, you pay. I mean, when I went to hairdressing school, I believe I paid $18,000. And it was like, I think it was originally like an 8 or 9 month course. And I did a year because I had my son while I was my eldest while I was in school. So I did take a mat leave for, I don't know, a few months. And because we'd also moved as well. And I went back and finished it at night, which actually was awesome because there was more people that were in at night. It was like an independent school. It wasn't like I didn't go to a college. I went to a specific hair and aesthetics school, and it was run like a salon. So it was open, say 9 to 5. For day classes, and you were on your feet from 9 to 5. There was a couple of hours where you did your theory, right? Watch a stupid video or watch your professor demonstrate a cut or whatever, and then you went off and tried to do it on your mannequin, and then you reached a point where you went upstairs and you worked on the people. And that was awesome. I prefer the hands-on to the book learning. I can't book learn to save my life. I can't stand people standing there talking at me. I just can't process that. The words mean nothing. I need to do it, you know? So, trial and error, baby. And then at night, I think the night classes were something like 6 to 8 or 6 to 9 or something like that. Maybe it was 5 to 9. I don't remember, but that's how I finished school. So you pay like you know, a decent amount of money to go to school to find, and they don't tell you this, that you get a job and you get no pension, no work pension, shitty, expensive benefits, if they offer them, because not all places offer them. And you quickly realize why they do this really quick business course in a good hairdressing school. A good hairdressing school will include some sort of business course, because I'm here to tell you, you need to be able to squirrel away for your own damn pension. Because I have never worked, and like I said, I've only ever worked for a First Choice. I have never worked in hair that offered a pension. Also, about 3 years after I started working in hair, they put, First Choice anyway, put a wage freeze on their companies. So you couldn't make any more than what you, if you were already above the minimum wage, that's fine. I believe they kept you at that. But if you were making minimum wage at the time of the wage freeze, that's it. You weren't making any more from the company. You had to really bust your ass getting the people in, getting the people out, doing your add-on services, selling product. And I hate pushing product. I am not a salesperson. I will answer your questions, I will make suggestions, and you take it from there, but I'm not going to force you to, or make you feel like you need to buy a goddamn thing, because usually you don't need to buy a goddamn thing. And I am not about to make people waste their money, so that's just not how I roll. But, you know, I mean, you make, what's minimum wage now? $14.25 an hour, I think. I remember years ago when my life took a dump, shit hit the fan, and my mom came down really sick, and things were happening in my personal life, and I took a stress leave that turned into compassionate care for my mom, and declared my bankruptcy and all this. It was a bad year that turned into like 7 bad years. But I ended up on welfare, and when I did, and I honestly think I'm one of the very few people on welfare, like legitimately, that was like legitimately on welfare. Not, I wasn't on it because I didn't want to work or anything like that, but I think I'm one of the only few people who actually did a tax return while on welfare. Because on welfare you don't pay taxes, right? So most people don't bother doing a tax return. I do a tax return regardless. I don't care. But when I did my first tax return when I was on welfare, and I compared that year's tax return to the last tax return I did when I was working, and I was making pretty much the same damn money. Like below the poverty line, or at the poverty line. He was at the poverty line. It's like, okay, well, I can see now why people do this. Like, I can see why people just say fuck it. The way the things are set up, in my opinion, is just wrong. You put out the money for a trade, you should be paid accordingly. You know, you have to go to school to learn to do something. You should be paid accordingly. PSW is the same thing. I went to school, 7 years ago, 7 years ago for PSW because I wanted to get the hell out of hairdressing. I wanted to make some decent money. And PSWs, I mean, PSW is geared to experience. So a lot of places, especially now with this pandemic, they're taking people literally off the street and training, and they're getting paid training on the job to PSW. I am still, it's been 7 years, I am still currently 11 grand in debt, student debt, for going to get my PSW certificate. And now they're paying people to train them. Really? But anyway, your pay is geared to your experience, so it was anywhere from, I think the lowest was that I've seen is like $15 an hour to start. Maybe it's a little less than that, but I think it's like $15 an hour to start. And when I started, they started me at $18 an hour. So it was okay. But then you see other places, I mean, but once you do the job, I'm here to tell you $18 an hour is not enough. It's not enough. And it's got nothing to do with the clients or the job itself. It has to do with how much they work you. They work you like a horse. You know, they call you in on your days off, and they, you know, it's just insane. You have to learn quickly to say no to things, or you will literally be worked to death. It's good work, don't get me wrong. I loved it. I absolutely loved it. And I do hope one day to get back into it. But the pay needs to be gooder. I've seen places on Indeed, and I can't remember the name of the place, but I've seen a couple of them where they are starting pay for PSW between $30 and I think $45 an hour. Now that's gooder. That right there. And they do, I believe, well, the place I worked for had a pension thing, so they would match what you put in, kind of deal. And that's great. I'm down for that. But I don't get how they break down trades and how they're paid and what they receive, you know, pensions and benefits and what have you. I actually went for a job interview a few months back at another hair place. That offered no benefits, no pension. They had this weird gimmick. It's they like to think that they're different than any other salon. They're not, except that it was geared toward men, which was a big attraction for me because, you know, I'm at the point now where I don't really want to be doing chemical services. Basically, the chemical services. I'll cut hair all day long. I don't care who you are. I don't care how old you are. I don't care what your gender is. I will cut hair all day long. I am happiest on the floor, just chopping away. You know, I'll cut hair for 4 hours straight before I go take a break. I don't care. I prefer that. But this chemical stuff, miss me with that. It's time consuming. I can't stand it. People are wicked picky. No. Nope. Oh, so my hands. So, yeah, I don't know. I feel bad for my man. It's frustrating. I get it. You know. And there's a guy that he works with, a young thing, who, you know, when he was hired, he was like, I don't do weekends. And he's the guy that, you know, when it's time to go, he drops his shit and leaves. Like, he doesn't clean up after himself. He doesn't, you know, he literally drops his shit and leaves. Everybody else has to work weekends, and everybody else has to clean the shop. And, I mean, who the hell are you, bud? Get out of here. So, you know, when you're busting your ass and you're not getting a thank you or a raise, I don't even need a thank you. Just friggin' pay me decent and we good. I don't know. You go to school to learn something and you can't get a job nowhere because they're hiring people off the street. Like, it just makes no sense to me. Then they say, you know, oh, well, you need the... Indeed is such a dumpster fire. I was looking at jobs, I don't know. I look almost daily, but... what it was, I can't remember what the job was for now, but it was quite basic. You know, literally anybody off the street could do it. A little bit of training if you need some computer training and whatever, and you're good to go. And they wanted you to have a Bachelor of Science or something for it. What? And it was like a minimum wage job. You think I'm going to go to college and get a bachelor's in any fucking thing and make minimum wage? You can suck my big toe. What? Oh, it was some sort of cleaning job in the hospital. That's what it was. It was janitorial in the hospital. And they wanted you to have a Bachelor of fucking Science? If you think I'm going to get a bachelor's in science and then go wash floors and toilets and shit, give your head a shake. I don't know. Go to school, don't go to school, you end up in the same damn position nowadays. I mean, back when I was a kid, college and university was the thing, right? You could not get a job without a degree or a certificate in something, right? Before that, like my parents' generation, like you didn't even need high school. Now they want you to have a Bachelor of Science to clean a fucking toilet. What? For, you know, $15 an hour. Please. I don't know. It doesn't make a lick of sense to me. Do you get it? Because I don't get it. Maybe I'm stupid. I don't know. Anywho, I think I'm going to pour myself a fresh cup of coffee and see what time is it here. Let me check the time. Oh, it's 11:30. Yeah, I should probably start thinking about making lunch for everybody. Everybody's home today, so that's why I'm hiding in my backyard. Anyways, stay cool, stay safe, and we'll talk later.